Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to pick up where we left off. This is part 2 of our visit with Blake from Body Language. That's right, this is the second installment of that fitness info and discussion. So strap in because we're getting into it right now. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
Okay, so Blake, I have a question for you.
Bro.
For people that are like actually, trying to make gains, for people that are like trying to be stronger and whatever else, so they're like going to be moving up their weights and like trying to go for personal records, all that stuff. Like, how important is it to have like a lifting partner or like a spotter? Is it like actually possible? Because like for that example, right? Like I know that you probably wouldn't have a spotter for, but like for something else that might happen, right? Like maybe somebody's like using some machine and like the handle comes down and it's like on them, whatever, or they just don't have the pressure to like put up that last bench press and the bar is coming back down on them. Like how important is it to have those people? Because like obviously if you're just going to work out and like everything's like well within reason, like you're not trying for any personal bests and you're trying to like bench press 300 pounds or whatever. But for people that are like, is that really important to like kind of get that buddy that you can go to the gym with so you can spot each other when you're lifting heavier weights and stuff?
Yes and no. So like first I'll talk about like the positives of a lifting partner. It can have like good and negative effects. So accountability is huge. If you have good camaraderie with someone and they're going to make you want to go to the gym, thumbs up to that. But actually, like I find with people that are more advanced, if they start lifting with people they haven't lifted with before, their ego gets the best of them. So it's just something to pay attention to. But to answer your question more directly, um, it's not that important. Now, I'll tell you why. When I train heavy, so if I'm in that 2 to 5 rep range, which is like, or even 1 to 4, which means like you're not going to do, I mean, you could do bicep curls for like 1 rep, but when you start lifting quote unquote heavy for strength, all right, so that low rep range, you want to focus more on compound lifts. So your bench press, um, overhead press, deadlift, squat, um, things like that are going to recruit more than just like an isolated muscle. So when you're lifting in that rep range, what you're doing is, I think we talked about this before, but your nervous system will only let you lift so much. So when you really strain to get those 2 to 4 reps that are really heavy, you're increasing your nervous system's capacity so your muscular system can work better. So think of it like this: your nervous system's like an amplifier, and your muscles are like a speaker. So you could have some badass, I don't know, Kenwood or Alpine speakers. Like remember when we used split systems back in our 92 Honda Accords? But if you don't have a good amplifier to support that, you're not going to get shit out of performance for them. So let me just lead off by saying there is a benefit to lifting in that low rep range. And you're not going to turn into a power lifter by doing that for a couple weeks at a time. That's what a lot of people think, particularly women. They're like, I don't want to lift heavy because I don't want to get bulky. It's like, listen, if you go talk to Miss Trunchbull over there from Matilda, you remember her?
Yeah.
If you think you're going to look like her for lifting heavy for even 6 months, you're out of your mind. It took her years to be able to do that. But back to needing a spotter, I always like to leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank when I'm lifting heavy like that. So that's what helps avoid injury. So yes, on PR days, it's good to have a spotter there. But like for a squat, if you're doing a squat, for example, there's a way you can bail out. So you actually throw the weight behind you, or you can set up the safety racks next to you. So that eliminates the need for a spot. There's a proper way to, if you get caught on a bench press, to roll the weight down onto like sit up with it, or don't use the clamps, and you can actually shimmy the weight off the bar. Deadlift. I mean, if you're going for a heavy deadlift and you can't, and you're going to fail, guess what? You can just drop the weight because there's nothing there. So you don't really need a spotter to get to those levels. Although some people prefer to have a lifting partner for the accountability aspect. But back to our conversation before, that's what's cool about having that gym community. Like Sean's the kind of guy I could see at the gym, kind of keeps to his own, but he's very observant, so he keeps his headphones in. But those people that they've made eye contact before and they know they're there every day. Sean needed a spot at the gym. I bet you all the limited dollars in my bank account right now, one of those morning people that sees them there all the time would be more than happy to come give them a lift.
I guarantee you, fucking the gym teacher is going to be right there helping me if I need it.
Yeah,
like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. Did that answer your question properly? Did I cover everything on that?
No, I think so. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is like, if you're like a lot of people who are in like a Planet Fitness, you don't have the completely free bench press or deadlift. You've got those, the Jacobson machine is I think what it's called, right? Where it's fully contained. Smith machine. There we go. I knew it was a damn person's name.
Yeah.
It's even more
Jacobson
common.
sounds cooler anyway.
Right?
Smith's so generic.
But yeah, like the Smith machine, like being so contained like that with the locks, like it really does make it a lot easier because you can put those safety channels in place for yourself.
Yeah, and bailing properly. So actually, very, very, very sad story. He was a professional bodybuilder or power lifter, and he was squatting like something like 500 pounds, and he had a spotter with him, and he died like 6 months ago. I want to say maybe over the summer, because he didn't bail out of his squat properly. So he came down when you bail out of a squat and you're at the bottom, you want to shoot yourself forward so the weight goes backwards. What he did is he fell forward and a cervical spine just cut it, and he died almost instantly. And the spotter tried to get up under his haunches and lift him, but what he should have done is just yank the bar back and like, so, you know, I'm sitting here saying you should learn how to bail properly. Like if you want to be one of those advanced people, but you still have to be careful because this guy was one of the best in the world and it still happened to him. Now, I think I've never done the research on it, but it's very rare that happens. But just something to be mindful of if you are going to be more advanced, like set up the safety things. Don't be a hardo. Practice bailing out, get under the bar one day, do it with lightweight and just practice committing to that. Because that's usually what gets people there. They're like, oh, I don't want people to see. It's like, hey, listen, we're talking about injury here. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter what people think of you.
Death.
Dude, it's like any extreme. Though. It's like if you're going to do anything that that has some possible danger, you need to make sure that you're knowledgeable on the situations and the ways to either avoid them or get out of them, so you don't put yourself in harm's way. Or if you are, you know how to get out of it safely and not risk the terrible inevitable of putting yourself in a bad situation.
I'm glad we're talking about safety. This is a really important thing that especially when you are getting into this advanced level.
Exactly. Because if it's something that you're, if you're someone who's a gym rat and you're in there every day, you know what I mean? At a certain point, you feel confident in yourself and you start forgetting about safety because it's like, oh, it's a routine thing. It's something that I even deal with at my job. You know what I mean? I work with heavy machinery and saw blades that are spinning fast as shit, and there's many ways I can get hurt in the day just by being complacent, not paying attention to my surroundings. You know what I mean? It's like no matter where you are, you got to make sure you're thinking about safety because, dude, something people take for granted.
Yeah, and honestly, injury too. Like, that's a good topic to bring up. If you are going to be one of those people that's chasing aesthetic goals and are going to get advanced, injury is going to happen. Like, there's a lot on injury prevention in my space, and don't get me wrong. Good form is obviously most important. Appropriate weight is very important. But there's days like, I was squatting 225 one day, which it's heavy. There's a grown man on my back basically, but not ultra heavy for me. And someone was unracking a squat next to me and they kind of stumbled back So when I was at the bottom of my squat, like you have to brace. That's how you protect your core when you're squatting. That's why you see people wearing a belt, because the belt actually doesn't do as much as people think by keeping everything together. It actually gives them like a haptic feedback to push on. Because when you squat, you want that intra-abdominal pressure to protect your core, like that whole part of your lower back is called the lumbo-pelvic hip complex. They'll wear a belt because it actually gives them the feedback that they're pushing out on it. But anyway, I was at the bottom of my squat and this girl almost fell and I lost concentration. Like I got scared. I tweaked my back, dude. And I couldn't, I literally was walking like Quasimodo for like 3 days. And, you know, if you are going to be someone that's lifting heavier, and I've done that to my back before too, not with someone falling next to me, just by being lazy, like we were just talking about, not paying attention. So if you do have specific goals and you're pushing the limits, injuries are going to happen. So mobility, so keeping your body kind of like, there's this guy, Kelly Starrett, he wrote the book called The Supple Leopard. His whole idea is like, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Well, you can do all that you want. Injuries probably still going to happen. Good form and then appropriate weight. But if you concentrate on those three things, that's your best way to mitigate injury risk. But it's still going to happen. You're still going to tweak shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that low rep range, even that mid rep range, you're putting a body through a lot. And like a lot of times, it's someone didn't sleep well the night before, or 2 nights, or they have a lot of stress going on in their life, and their cortisol's ramped up, so their nervous system's all out of whack. That's usually when these things will happen, but they can happen. So it's all about how you come back from it. You know, one of my clients got in a motorcycle accident. Thank God she just broke her wrist. That's like all that happened. And we could only train lower body, and then like some of what we could do with the upper body. And she has pretty bad body dysmorphia, and she's come a long way in her journey. And we're 3 months out of it now, and she's crushing it. So it's all about how you deal with those adversities if you're someone that has those goals. But injury will happen.
No, 100%. And safety is key, man.
Hello.
It's super important. And like I said, I'm really glad that we are getting kind of on that topic, because I think that's another thing that acts as a turn off point for a lot of people when it comes to getting into this kind of a thing, is that
What's up?
they're afraid of that injury.
Oh, not for probably like another 45 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think you realize.
Yeah.
You have to get that armchair in here for, I don't know if it'll work, but okay, carry on. Sorry.
Okay.
You good, bud?
Dude, you got to get that armchair in there.
Are you guys talking? You guys could hear all that?
Yeah, you didn't mute.
Did I even hit? What the fuck?
Maybe not on the right microphone or something in Zoom.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
No. You don't hear that?
I don't hear you tapping on it now.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I just hear you. Hear you talking.
Well, sorry about that, everybody.
Oh man. Hopefully I can find where that is. I'll just cut that for you, but
Okay, now we're good. Now I'm on the right microphone. You should hear
You
this.
sound different.
oh wow.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess there's that. There's obviously a Zoom.
Oh my god. That was
So yeah,
that's amazing.
don't let getting hurt be what prevents you from going to the gym, because like if you're just into general fitness, like aside from being sore, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it's
Well, like,
Sean
that's the
was
thing,
talking
though.
about deterrent.
You can get hurt every day doing anything. You can get hurt walking to the car,
dude,
to go to work. You can get
I got hurt
having
sleeping,
a shower.
bro. I woke up with a sore
Yeah.
back 3 days in a row just from sleeping wrong, and I don't know how I'm sleeping wrong, because at least when I fall asleep, I'm on my back. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just like sleep on my back and see if that helps me out. But dude, my back is so tore up, especially today. I need to like do some stretching and getting this thing loosened up a little bit. But dude, it's brutal.
Dude, let me shout out this dude on YouTube. His name's Luca Hokabar, and he's like a mobility expert. So comb through his stuff, do some of that before bed, and when you wake up, just pick like 3 exercises. He's got like a bunch of, dude, he's got something for everything.
Oh, dude, I've been doing a couple of things like the past couple of days, and it's helped out a little bit. But I forgot to do it last night, and I could tell it. Skipping it last night didn't do me any justice. I'm like
mobility. Yes, you got to get those mobility exercises in. Dude, for sure.
I noticed too. It's usually on the days where it's like on my days off where I'm just hanging out and I'm not really like moving around as much. You know what I mean? It's like during the week I'm fine because I'm moving around all throughout the day at work, and I do my little stretch because we stretch every morning. First thing in the morning when we get to the job, we do have a little morning meeting, do a little 5-minute stretch, make sure everybody's all limber, talk about what we're going to do. And then I'll do like a similar thing at night. But on the weekend, I get so lazy and I don't do shit. And then I get all fucking tight. And by Monday morning, I'm fucked. So I just need to continue the process through the weekend instead of just getting lazy.
Dude, just smoke and go on a walk, bro. Like walking.
But that's
like
part of it too. Is like I don't because I walk quite a bit throughout the day during the week, and I don't do any on the weekend. You know what I mean? Except for to the kitchen and back. You know what I mean? That's about it.
So dude, schedule that midday walk, bro. Smoke a little, dude. Smoke some of that fucking.
I've been wanting to get a bike too, just to like go around on a little fucking bike ride around the fucking. Dude, there's like probably like a little mile loop I could do. I like do that. Yeah, perfect.
Dude,
I have the dog, luckily, so
just getting up and
I should do that
general,
too. We've got 4 golden retrievers. I should just pick a different one each day. Like, all right, let's go for it. Because dude, I can't do all 4. That'd be fucking nightmare.
Nah, dude, you'd look like one of those gifs that you see. Have you ever like typed in?
I just get myself a skateboard, bro, and just let them fucking
I'll be an arm workout and fucking your legs too, because you'd be panicking the whole time. You'd like fucking probably be going like this.
I would have to get like a dirt board, bro, because catching a fucking pebble, I'd be fucking dunzo, bro.
Yo, and then they'd be dragging you down the street.
Yeah, for real, dude. Not only would I fucking have a broken ankle, but fucking road rash.
Yeah, you'd have mad fucking road rash.
Dude, it'd be so bad.
God. Dislocated shoulder and everything. It'd be all bad. No, see, the real pro move there would be to just like you schedule it so that every hour you get up and you take one on a short little walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, do it more frequent. Less time, but more frequent.
I do it. I had to start doing it at work because, like, doing what I do now, there are days that I literally do nothing. I just hang out and wait for something to do. And on those days, like, I have to just make myself get up, do a couple laps around the shop, fuck with the guys for a minute, go back to my parts room, pick things up, put them down, pick things up, put them down, like just to keep that movement, just to keep myself working somehow. Because otherwise, like you're talking about, like you get to that point where the muscles in the hips and the lower back, they get all tight, they get all stiff, and then you're walking like Quasimodo, and that's not what any of us are trying to do in this life. I'm not trying.
Bro, we need to get you a mace.
Dude, I need to get maces.
One. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
I've been like,
what's your boy there?
Dude, Action Bronson, bro.
Yeah, dude, I have a couple of those.
Well, I remember when I tried yours in the parking lot, and I was like, holy shit, what a workout that was.
Yeah, it's only 10 pounds, dude, but that's perfect, like, throughout the day. Just grab that thing when you have 2 minutes, swing that fucker around. Not only is it a great workout, it's great for your core, but you look like a badass doing it. You're out there looking like Conan.
I was thinking about getting like some kettlebells, just to do some little kettlebell workouts. You know what I mean? Throw in some, some push-ups, some sit-ups, do a little kettlebell routine. You know what I mean? Because that's something that I could just do here. You know what I mean? You could do so many different things with the kettlebell. You know what I mean?
Bowflex makes an adjustable one too, so you can buy one and it adjusts. Yeah,
I'll look into that.
Yes. Shout out to the adjustable kits like that, like the adjustable kettlebells and the adjustable dumbbells and shit. Because, like, dude,
they're so expensive if you don't buy the adjustables, dude.
Dude, well, not only that, but like, how convenient is that you could just have this one little rack system that sits there, and then you turn a dial, and now you got 40 pounds in each hand. And then you
Yep.
turn a dial, and you got 20 pounds in each hand. Like, brilliant. It makes a home workout extremely accessible if you want that tactile experience.
And on top of that, like people are like, well, why don't commercial gyms have them? Well, they wouldn't last long in a commercial gym. You know, like we're talking about these things might get used 2 to 5 days a week at home versus a commercial gym, they're getting used 50 times a day.
Yeah,
So like
and
a
To
lot
be
of people,
dropped either.
yeah, and like
Exactly.
people in my space, like you'll see it on Instagram and stuff. They're like, "Oh, these suck. You have to get these," and it's like, dude, it's weight. Like it's just weight. It doesn't
Just weight.
matter like the quality. Like yeah, you get into a commercial setting, quality matters, you know. But even like you can get a barbell set up for your house that PRX makes, and it folds into your wall. So you can get a barbell like a squat rack that only comes off 6 inches off your wall, dude. And then you get a bench. Now you get a bench press. You get a squat rack. You can do overhead press with the barbell. And guess what? You can do deadlifts, which you don't need the rack for. But if you're going to get the rack, you're going to get the barbell and the weights. So, like, my recommendation for people is if you really start to, like, if you want to increase your home setup, get something like that too, because it's just, you can't, dumbbells are fine, but you can't load dumbbells like you can a barbell. So, if you just got a barbell, a bench, and then an adjustable set of dumbbells or like an adjustable kettlebell, dude, that's all you need. And then you can do pull ups on it. And then you grab some bands. So you go to Walmart and get like a $10 band. Get two of those. Those are great
Yes.
for just doing shit during the day. A mace is only $20 for like a quality one. But the only like thing I'll say here is you can order the rack online, but maybe even the barbell. But check Facebook Marketplace, dude. Even check Walmart for the actual weights, because let me tell you, shipping weights is expensive. Because guess
Mhm.
what? You're shipping 300 pounds. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So look for those, and you don't need fucking Rogue bumper plates. Just get the ones at Walmart. Get the ones at Dick's. Like
Well,
they'll
shit.
do you just fine.
Like you were saying, weights, weight.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, believe it or not, if you are willing to put in the work, there are make your own weight kits where you can pour some
Man,
concrete, fill the little plastic mold, and you will make your own filled weights. And each little plastic mold, once filled with concrete, is supposed to come out to the correct weight. So, like, if you're willing to put the work in, you can really cut your costs and do that.
Dude, I've even seen people have those, like, they're like plastic and they're filled with sand. So like they would buy them empty and then they'd fill them with like play sand or whatever, and like whatever the volume of that dumbbell was with sand in it was
Yeah.
the pounds. So it
Oh,
might have been like a small one, they're 5 pounds. There's bigger ones that were 20
Well,
pounds.
Chris,
Whatever.
you and I
just
both
fill it.
know a gallon of water is roughly 10 pounds.
Yeah, because I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, like if you think about it, like the amount of work that you can do even just with like those like water jugs, the ones that are 18.9 liters, like I don't know, the ones that go on the water coolers.
Yep.
I don't know how many gallons that is. Maybe that's like
I
five.
think they're 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
so
five
it's
gallon
5
jug,
gallon.
right?
Like, dude, that's 50 pounds. So like you
yeah,
could
dude. Yo,
do
get a
like
Home Depot
squats,
bucket.
lunges, all sorts of shit.
Legit though, like when you think about like Uncle Chris, I know like you had to have had a few 5 gallon buckets, right? For the water
Yeah.
change day,
Heaps.
right?
Yeah,
Like
heaps.
moving that full 5 gallon water pound bucket is a hell of a workout. You want to get your traps up, just carry a couple of full five
Dude, I'll
gallon
tell you what,
buckets.
throwing around
Yeah.
lumber during the day is pretty much a pretty good workout too.
Yup.
Oh, bro, specifically splitting wood has been shown to increase a man's testosterone like 10 to 20% in the moment. I don't know why it's specifically splitting wood. I saw a
Dude, have
study
you
on
ever
it.
It's like,
done it, bro?
babe,
It's
I
so
just chopped a bunch of
satisfying,
wood.
bro.
It is, dude. Bro, me and
Dude.
my buddies cut down a bunch of trees. My buddy bought a house and he wanted to bring some trees back, and they were probably like, I don't know, like a little thicker than my neck. They weren't huge trees. He had a chainsaw. Bro, we pulled out the axe. We did them all with the axe. We just getting shit faced all day, cutting down tree. Probably not the best combination.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's better
dude,
than the chainsaws.
Well,
and
you were
getting
using
shit-faced, to
axes
be
instead
fair.
of chainsaws, so yeah.
yeah,
You're
hey,
smart to some
balance.
degree.
Balance.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
But dude, we were taking turns because like you hack away at that thing for a little bit. We were exhausted. I was sore the next day. My fucking lats were killing me.
There's a reason why we have, very similar motion cable pulls and things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's called the wood chopper, ironically.
what do you know?
Dude, you know what's like so crazy? Like for a job that I honestly kind of hated over the last 5 years, like this fall, like I've kind of missed not having to do like a ton of fucking wood for the outdoor furnace. Like I've kind of missed it.
Oh, that's
Because like, dude, I
right.
would do like 10 cords of wood and I would like basically just get it in like 20-foot sections and I would have to chainsaw it and then I would have to stack it. So I'd be like chainsawing it, picking it up, walking it over, stacking it, do that all day. And then I would have certain ones that were too big. So then I'd have like a splitting day where I would just go out with the fucking axe. I would just like split wood for like 4 or 5 hours, have lunch, go back out, split wood for another 2 or 3 hours, do that like 3 days in a row, have like all the split wood done. And like I would feel like super fucking strong and good by the time like that month. It would take me about a month to get everything prepped, just between like the strength that I would have from the chainsaw to the fucking chopping to the walking to the bending over, picking up all the logs, all that shit. Like I would feel pretty good about it. That's why I look forward to getting back to that, like in a couple of years, like when I
Get
have
your
my own
pump
place.
on with it.
It's
You
like
make a
off the
good
grid and all
point
that.
too. You make a good point with like people that work, quote unquote blue collar jobs, like people in the trades. I'm a mason's son, so I grew up mixing concrete and running brick and doing that shit. And my stepfather, he's like, he's always trying to get in and out of the gym because he used to power lift when he's younger. He's in his 50s now, and I'm like, Kevin, you don't have to lift weights 5 days a week. I'm like, you're lifting block every day. I'm like, half of you guys, I was like, if you lifted 1 day a week and just ate properly, you would live a very healthy lifestyle. So if you have a very physically demanding job and you're at the gym 5 days a week and you're wondering why you're not progressing, try to go 2 days a week. Because I know most people will do like chest 1 day, back 1 day, shoulders 1 day. Here's the thing: when you're doing a split routine like that, you're only hitting each muscle group once. If you switch to a total body lift 2 days a week while you were still doing your job, now you're hitting each muscle group twice. So yeah, your volume is going down a little bit, but your frequency is going up, and you'll get a way better response because now you have more energy. So if you have a job like that, just focus on the nutrition, man.
Mm. I think that is a really another important thing is like nutrition is so goddamn key when it comes to reaching those new
I feel like
points.
that's probably where a lot of people, well, at least, for me, that's where I would probably struggle with the most. Being active is not as much of a big thing because, I have no problem with getting active and doing, hard work and that sort of thing. But for me, I feel like it's the nutrition part is where I struggle the most just because I feel like I'm such a picky eater a lot of times that I just eat a lot of the same shit just because I know it's stuff that I fucking enjoy. And that's part of it too, is I look at food more for enjoyment compared to it being actually nutritious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really tough. So like a good thing to note, if you're hungry, right? Our emotions, like food nowadays is like, dude, Pepsi has fake taste buds in a lab so they can like see what like lights you up the most. So it's all like this basically it's true. They
I
dump
don't doubt it.
massive.
No, I believe
It's you.
you.
It's you
crazy.
versus these multi-billion-dollar corporations with these scientists trying to figure out how hyper palatable they can make food. And what happens is you get a dopamine rush from that food. So, like, one good place to start with that is allow yourself to have whatever you want after you eat what you're quote unquote supposed to eat. So, if you meal prepped, right, and you have some chicken and rice and broccoli, or, and by the way, chicken thighs are so much better than chicken breasts. Just get chicken thighs, they taste so much better. But if you have that and the guys at work are ordering a sub, it's like, okay, well, do this. Get a small sub instead of a large. Eat your chicken and rice first. I bet you won't eat the whole sub, but you might still have like that little bit of, might still get that enjoyment out of it. So eat what you're quote unquote supposed to eat first. The other thing to remember when you're craving something, think of this. Like my favorite meal, like well balanced meal is a ribeye steak. I love ribeye. So grass fed ribeye steak with either some mashed potatoes and asparagus or sweet potatoes and broccoli or something like that. Like I could eat that fucking 6 a.m. Doesn't matter. I love ribeye. Okay, with some garlic and salt on it. If I'm hungry and I think to myself, do I want a ribeye right now? Or do I want, think of just a couple meals that you enjoy that are quote unquote healthy. If you don't want them and you specifically want something else, that is the first indicator that it's an emotional craving and it's not true hunger. I'm not saying to starve yourself, but just starting with that framework of like, well, I'm hungry right now, but I don't want to eat anything that's actually going to satiate me. I just want to eat something that tastes good. Well, chances are pretty good that's an emotional response.
Bro, you hit that shit right on the nose for me, bro. I can't count how many times I've either gone out to the refrigerator or looked in the pantry, and there's so much fucking shit in there that would probably, like you say, fulfill that hunger for me, but I don't want it because it's not what I want at the moment. Like, no, none of this looks good or none of this sounds good to me. So I end up closing it and walking away and not eating.
So think about this, like when you have that craving, think about what else is going on. Like, did you sleep well that night?
No.
Is your boss being a dickhead that day? Are you in a fight with your girl? When you just, and like, I'm not saying you have to stop eating that stuff right away, but awareness is the first step. So just start to build that framework of like, oh my God, you know what I really noticed the last 2 weeks is like when this is going on at work or when my dog's being an asshole or like things aren't going my way, I want, for me, like I love pizza and mac and cheese, like carbs specifically. Like I love that shit and like I'll still eat it. I had pizza this afternoon, but me and my girlfriend are really good about meal prep. I have my lunch planned out. Like she made it today for the week. So I'm going to have that. But some days if I'm having a tough day at work and I go get an afternoon coffee, I see the donuts. I'm like, let me get that glazed or that strawberry frosted. Dude, I just ate a pound and a half of chicken and a cup of rice. I shouldn't be hungry for that. And then I'll be like, well, didn't really have a good day at work today, or I'm stressed about this test that I have coming up or something like that. And sometimes I still get the fucking donut. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll fill that craving, but bringing awareness to it, maybe 1 out of 10 times you don't get it because you make that right decision. And then I'll tell you what, like the next day you feel good about it because I mean, we're all stoners here. Like there's nothing better than rolling a nice fucking blunt at the end of the night. So for me, like I like Reese's peanut butter cups, dude. That's my shit. Like if you don't like Reese's, then you're probably a weirdo. I don't know, unless you're like one of those people who doesn't like peanut butter. But then like,
or you're allergic.
You're
like we don't want to hate on the people allergic.
Touche. But
yeah, we'll let you slide if you're somehow genetically incapable of eating peanut butter.
But dude, my girlfriend makes fun of me because sometimes I'll go get the Reese's and like I'll be in bed, we'll smoke, and like I'll have it on my nightstand, and I won't even eat it for like 2 days. So she calls it my emotional support Reese's.
Yeah, it's funny because comforting to know it's there.
I'm like, oh, I can have it now. Where I still struggle is like some people. My buddy's wife's really good about getting like a pint of ice cream, and she'll just have a little bit every night. Nah, that ain't me.
No.
If I have a pint of ice cream or Reese's, it's going down. If it's open, it's done.
Boys,
dude, you know how many people I've known in my life that actually do legit? I actually dated this girl, and she had like those small little. I guess it might be like a pint of like Haagen-Dazs, and she would eat a spoonful a night. She would literally get a spoon out of the fucking cupboard. She'd walk over to the freezer. She'd hold it. She would hold the spoon in her hand to like warm it up. She'd take a scoop with the spoon, like a regular teaspoon. She'd put the lid back on, put it, and then eat that spoon. And that's all that she would have. I'd be like, I would have that done 10 minutes ago.
Yo, like proud of you.
Doing? Like that's
Here's my problem, boys, is I have zero self-control. So when it comes to a lot of things, I just fucking go ham because I don't know when to say stop.
I just tried a new ice cream last night, as a matter of fact. There's a Stranger Things ice cream right now.
Okay.
There's
I'm listening.
Yeah, what is the shop called? Scoops Ahoy. So am I right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be Scoops Ahoy ice cream. So I tried the USS butterscotch, and actually fire. It's supposed to be butterscotch ice cream with like a salted caramel swirl and little
Yep.
like salted caramel chocolate
Yep.
bits.
Yep.
Actually fire. And my wife
Yep.
tried a cinnamon bun
Yep.
one that was a cinnamon ice cream
I'll take them
with
both,
like
please.
a cinnamon dough swirl and shit inside.
I want 2 scoops of both, please.
Yeah, both very fire. So
I got a solution for you guys. Okay. So when I was going on vacation and I wanted to I wanted to drop a couple pounds because, I'm the personal trainer. So if we're on the beach for a week, quite frankly, it helps to look like a personal trainer. Not to say that if you look at, doesn't mean Tiger Woods golf coach can swing a golf club better than him. You don't have to be in great shape to be a trainer, but it's good advertising.
It helps.
So it's good superficial.
Yeah. Practice
but what I found is chocolate will satisfy my craving. So what we did is I grabbed some chocolate chips and then I just put them in like a little souffle cup. So that way because I'm not going to eat. I mean, I have eaten a whole bag of chocolate chips. Don't get me wrong, but they're not that good that I'm going to crush the whole bag. But they're good enough that I get the craving satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is kind of we like to smoke a blunt in bed before bed. So I'd bring that little thing into bed with me, and I'd smoke the blunt, and then I'd have my little chocolate chips. And it was only like 120 calories for that thing versus the 400 that's in king size Reese's. So there's little techniques you can do like that too. I wouldn't recommend getting a party bag of the fun size Snickers because those are just way too easy to go back to the cabinet and eat more of them. But there's other alternatives you can do like that. Even ice cream. It's funny, if I have a gallon of ice cream, I'll put like a half a cup full or like a mug, and I'll eat that. That's better than eating the whole pint of Ben and Jerry's. There's something about that 1 pint serving. Those motherfuckers did mad research on it.
Easy.
Well, it's just because you look at it and it's like, what's the point of putting half of this away?
You can smack it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. So
you don't feel like a pure glutton when you eat a whole one. You know what I mean? But it's more than you need for sure.
Honestly, I like
1,200 calories.
I like the idea of the small concessions notion too, though, right? Because I'm a good snacker. I like to snack, especially there are days where my job keeps me tied to the desk because I'm doing a lot of data entry. But for me, what I've found is that trail mix, if you get a well-balanced trail mix, or if you make a well-balanced trail mix, if that's kind of your thing, can be a really wonderful, helpful snack because I can load it with lots and lots of, high protein nuts and things like that. And then still have a couple of, chocolate chips in there, or, in the case of the one I normally grab, it's got some peanut butter chips and chocolate chunks in there. So it's you get that sweet fix, but you also get the filling part of that protein. And then of course, water. Please, everybody drink more water.
Yeah. And the nuts, dude. The nuts, they have protein. They have a lot of fat, but fat doesn't make you fat like blueberries don't make you blue. But fat tends to carbohydrates are for quick energy. Fat is a lot more satiating, especially paired with the protein and nuts. So yeah, it would definitely keep you fuller. That's a great point.
It's kind of I'm not a big breakfast guy, so it's kind of become part of my breakfast routine now. Is I have my little trail mix container. I just a couple handfuls now. Mid-morning between getting into work and my lunch break, just to keep the energy levels where they need to be, and it works wonderful. I need to eventually get back to my oatmeal trend because that was when I had my most energy in the morning. But small steps. It's integrating those lifestyle changes one bit at a time. Because I used to make my own oatmeal with just a organic oats, and then I would use a little bit of honey or maple syrup instead of sugar for my sweetener, and just kind of build it up from there. Some dried fruit, what have you. And what a perfect breakfast to really get the energy rolling, especially on a gym day.
Hell yeah. And there's a company, called Creatures of Habit, and they're a little pricey, but they 30 grams of protein per serving in their oatmeal. Yeah, and it's got vitamin D and pre and probiotics too. So like that's a complete breakfast. Yeah, no, it's the real deal. I think it comes
Yeah.
down to like I think it's like $3 or $4 a serving, but I mean, you're getting everything you need in that.
I mean, again, if you want to go that far into your like your food sources and things like that, and giving yourself treats, I know like I'm a big fan of Robert Frank. He makes me laugh.
He's hysterical.
Dude, he makes me laugh, and I'm honestly, I'm going to tell you right now of the handful of protein powder supplements I've tried in my time now, Steel brand protein powder has been the best tasting protein shake so far. It doesn't have the gritty, disgusting whey flavor like a lot of the other ones do. Um, and so for people who are like, it's hard for you to eat as much protein and you do want to supplement with like a protein shake. I'm one of those people. It's not easy for me to do that some days.
What's this stuff called, Sean?
Steel supplements. I use their
Because that's part of my problem with protein powders is they're either gritty or they have like that weird chalkiness, and I have a hard time putting it down, dude. Like, I don't. It's not so much the flavor as much as it is the texture. To where it's like I literally have a hard time putting it down.
Their whey iso protein powder worked really well for me in that it blended a lot easier than other brands I've tried so far. And I didn't get the off-putting flavor that a lot of people do. It actually had more of a chocolatey rich flavor. One of the things I noticed is that part of that is that they actually put powdered milk, like a powder creamer, in the mix to help add to that richness and flavor. Either way, it is a little bit more expensive. They're like 1.5 pound bottles, like a $40 friggin' supplement. But for
but with
something
protein, dude, you get what you pay for. Because the margins are they're very slim on protein. Companies don't make a lot of money on their protein powders. They draw you in with them, and then they make their money on their creatine and their pre-workout and their BCAAs and all that other shit.
So that's the thing, man. Like you really do get what you pay for, and it shows. You know, I've bought the $20 Walmart brand protein powder, and it is not. Yeah, it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable, friends. I'm telling you, just pay up a little bit, get the good shit. And when I'm telling you, when I order my next Steel supplements order to get more of their protein powder, because I really do enjoy it, they also make a protein pudding mix.
Oh, fire.
I want to grab that, because as good as the protein powder is, to be able to make my own protein pudding, let's fucking go.
Yeah. And there's another Isopure is a brand that makes my girlfriend drinks it. She's big on texture too. They make like a fruity one. So it almost tastes like a fruit punch, and it's like kind of like light. It's not like creamy.
Ooh.
So there's other options. That one's pretty pricey, but it's like 20 grams of protein, and it's complete protein. But protein powder is great.
And that's the thing,
I don't get 200 grams a day without it anymore. Sometimes I do when I'm like bulking, I can, but it's just too convenient. And there isn't a lot of supplements out there I recommend, but protein powder is a staple. So especially if you don't like to eat in the morning, you could just slam down a protein shake. And then creatine.
That's my big thing. If I could just slam down a shake in the morning, it'd be a lot easier, because I'm one of those people, I can't really eat in the morning. Well, it's not that I can't. It's just that I don't have that big.
I don't have the appetite yet.
I could drink something, no problem. You know what I mean? Like I could throw back a cup of coffee or whatever, and if I had like a shake that I could just throw down real quick, I would definitely be more like inclined to throw down a shake than actually sit down and have to eat something, because that's something I could do on my way to work,
dude. And the energy boost you get from it too. Yeah. And the creatine, as you were also mentioning, also a fantastic supplement to add to that morning shake.
The most researched supplement of all time is creatine, and particularly if you're vegan. If there's any vegan listeners, vegans that take creatine get great results from it. And even someone like me, like, dude, there's days that I eat a pound of red meat, I'm still not getting enough creatine from that. But a lot of the new research on creatine is actually coming out on its cognitive benefits. They're starting to give it to like patients with Alzheimer's and dementia, because of the way it interacts with the ATP. So creatine, like I think everyone should take creatine regardless if they're working out or not. It's almost like a multivitamin at this point. They don't have the same effect at all.
Yeah,
but
I
in
no,
terms
but
of just a
I
daily
agree.
supplement,
I do agree. The energy boost that you get from it, the cognitive boost that we're finding you get from it, all the signs point to it being positive. If your body is healthy enough to process it, that's the key, right? Like obviously,
yeah, if you have kidney issues or
you,
something like that, then you can't take
yeah,
it. But
kidney or
for
liver
like,
issues, obviously, no
yeah,
one here is a medical professional, but I do know at least enough to know if you do have kidney or liver issues, creatine supplements are probably not safe for you. But otherwise, they are relatively safe. And we're not saying that you need to be dosing it 30 and 40 milligrams, but like you do a little 5 milligram scoop of creatine with your 20 milligram protein powder every morning. The benefits are amazing.
yeah. And one thing too, to add to what he just said, sometimes they'll recommend you load your creatine when you get it. And by the way, Sean, just a quick, it is grams, not milligrams. That's the weed in you talking.
Yes, sir.
But
yes,
yeah,
Speaking
sir.
of which, I'm
5
going to get
grams,
some more weed in me.
5 grams of creatine. There's no sense in loading it. You do not need 20 grams a day. It gets in your system quicker, but like it's something you should take forever. You don't need to cycle it. So it's kind of like sometimes on the shampoo bottle, it says like, wash, rinse, repeat. They just want you to buy more shampoo. Same thing with creatine companies. You do not have to load it. That's nonsense. You're just going to piss it all out. So just take 1 scoop a day. And there is a lot of research on like if you talk to the gym bros, they'll be like, oh, you have to take it after your workout. That's going to give you like a 0.5% of benefit. The most important part about creatine is you take it daily. So if that has to be in your pre-workout, that's fine. If it has to be in your protein shake because you're going to do it every day, that's fine. I put it in my coffee some days. If I'm not going to the gym or having protein,
Yes.
I'll just throw it in my coffee in the morning because I'm going to get it in. So the most important part about creatine isn't when you take it, it's just taking it every day.
And that's the cool thing about your creatine, folks, is that it's flavorless. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can buy flavored creatine if you wanted, but you could get it flavorless. And so, yeah, like I throw it in my coffee as well, and it's a fantastic way to get it in.
You don't notice
Utilizing,
it.
yeah, utilizing your protein powders though in unique and creative ways is kind of cool. I remember catching somebody on the TikTok and the Instagram fitness real realm um talking about they were using a blueberry muffin flavored protein powder, mixing that up as their normal shake, but then using that on their magic spoon bowl of cereal.
Oh, Magic Spoon. I love it,
Yeah.
dude.
So you get the
Yeah.
protein boosted breakfast cereal, plus you're boosting the protein of
Is
the
that stuff
milk.
good?
Oh, it's so good.
Dude, Blake will tell you right now because I know he's an
I'm a
avid
big
user
cereal
of it.
guy.
It tastes just like the real thing, right?
I don't even put it in milk, dude. I just like that. Sometimes that's I haven't been on a kick lately, but for a while, that was like the fruity brand. Tastes just like Fruit Loops. That was my night snack. Like I would smoke, and that's what I would have for my sweet tooth. Is the Magic Spoon cereal. Now it's like 13 grams for a serving, but which is like 120 calories. But that's better than eating like regular cereal that has 0 protein and just a bunch of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And it's a little pricey, but like it's worth it because it's actually giving you something. It's made with whey protein, so if you're lactose intolerant, you might not be able to tolerate it. But if you can do whey protein, you can do that. And desserts too. Like sometimes my girl makes me like protein pudding, like you were saying, Sean,
Mhm.
or even dude, high protein Alfredo. Sometimes she'll make chicken Alfredo, and she'll put cottage cheese in with like the ricotta and cream and stuff like that, and then she'll get the protein pasta. I'll have a big ass bowl of Alfredo. Don't get me wrong, it's tons of calories, but I'm getting like 45 grams of protein in that dish.
Oh yeah.
So, but the desserts, dude, I think there's a page on Instagram called Gym Rat Recipes. They do like high protein cheesecakes and like high protein cookies and stuff like that. And
And
my
that's the thing.
girlfriend's
Like you
made
could
quite a bit. It's so good.
you can sneak a lot of you can still get your sweet tooth on and eat healthy and feed your body well if you use some of these kind of techniques. So that way, I saw a great piece of information or advice, and it's like you had said earlier, like you don't want to call it a cheat. You don't want to tell yourself, no, I can't. You want to frame it differently as a a treat once in a while. And when it comes to the treat, sometimes it's easier to just say no once. So that means, say no to it at the grocery store and don't buy the tray of cupcakes. And then you can go home and make some nice protein cookies instead to feed that sweet tooth, but will also give you some of the benefit and still taste banging.
Yeah.
Like we're there now, folks. We can make healthy food taste good. It's possible. It doesn't have
Well,
to be gross.
and your taste buds will adapt too. Like honestly, you take someone that hasn't. I mean, I remember I did the keto diet once, which I mean, it has its benefits or whatever, but I'll never forget the first time I ate a strawberry when I was like a month into keto. Dude, that thing tasted like a freaking strawberry ring pop. It was the sweetest thing I'd ever had. It's like, I mean, you guys remember your first sip of beer? Probably tasted like shit. Now my buddies are like, "Oh, taste this hoppy IPA. It's got notes of ass crack and fucking fungus." But they like it.
Shout out to you, Poon Sauce. We love you. We got a
Dude,
brewer
fucking
friend we've
craft
had
beer,
on the
bro.
show on a handful of occasions, and he's definitely one of those who's like, you'll taste the Citra and Mosaic hops in this one.
Yeah,
He did
but
beer
dude,
reviews the whole nine. Like
they've
he's about
developed
it.
those taste buds, dude. You can do the same thing with sweets. You know, like you can adapt, and you have to do a little metabolic housekeeping first because your body just doesn't know any better. Again, those scientists you're competing against multi-billion-dollar corporations.
Well, I'll tell you what, bro, they've got me hooked, bro, because sweets are my fucking Achilles heel, bro. I have the
James is
biggest
like,
sweet
yo,
tooth
I can't
ever.
wait to get into
You can ask these
these
guys.
nerds, whatever they are. What are
I
they
eat
called
so
again?
much junk and drink so much like
Clusters.
soda and just anything that has any sugar in it. I'm about that life.
Yeah. Processed sugar is the
They've got me
devil.
hooked, bro. It's my number one addiction.
And now there's even studies now that are showing that fructose in general is a major culprit to obesity. And so with that, they're even starting
That's
to
where
say like you got to start to really be considerate of how much fruit. So
That's why
yes,
I'm
fruit is
surprised on
healthy,
how
but
skinny I am, dude. Because I eat so much junk. I don't eat really anything good, but I guess it just must be my metabolism or something. I don't know.
this may fall into that notion of remaining in a caloric deficit or
That could probably be it
being
too.
in that caloric range that sustains you without gaining or losing weight.
You're just a hard gainer, dude. You're like my girlfriend's the same way. Like you can eat basically whatever you want. You don't gain weight. You've been blessed with that metabolism. But
Yeah.
like for someone like her, it's harder for her to put on weight than it is for most people to lose weight.
Dude, that's
But
my
sometimes
problem too. Is like
yeah.
I would much rather be putting a little bit on than staying where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to like figure out ways to do it in a healthy way. You know what I mean?
Basically, you need to eat 3 fucking servings of chicken every meal for the
No, you gotta learn how to eat breakfast. That's really what it comes down to. Because
Yeah.
you said it before, you can't eat in the morning, you're not hungry in the morning. Well, I'll tell you what, you suck it up for like a week and a half, 2 weeks and eat in the morning, and then you don't, you'll be hungry in the morning. Your body will adapt just like it does to anything else. And it sucks, but if you're a hard gainer, like you're describing, then that wasted window is going to make it really hard to eat more calories throughout the day, like to get the amount that you need
Yeah.
to put on that weight. So definitely, and it could start with protein. Like I said, still calories and protein. Still going to build muscle getting the protein. But I mean, eggs, dude. Eggs.
eggs, baby.
Dude, actually,
yes.
that's one thing that I could start doing too, because I don't mind eating like a good, 2-3 eggs at a time. You know what I mean? I
Bro,
have no
5.
problem.
Eat 5.
I could do that too, bro. Honestly, bro,
Throw 'em
one
in
of
a
my
burrito.
Two,
dude,
three
what-
X, eat
no,
5.
one of my favorite things, bro. It's like something I've ate since I was a kid. There's something my grandma used to make me when I was growing up. I'd scramble up a couple eggs, and instead of like fucking like getting them to where like they all kind of like are a bunch of pieces, I make it into like almost like a scrambled egg patty sort of situation. Toast 2 pieces of bread and then throw it on some fucking bread and have like a little scrambled egg sandwich, bro.
Dude, dude, breakfast burritos. Those
Dude,
big
I'll tear up
wraps.
some burritos too.
240 calories in one of those big wraps, dude. And if you're someone that's trying to lose weight, get a lavash wrap. They're only like 120 calories, and they got like 12 grams of protein. But for you, throw that thing in a burrito wrap, dude. Cook up some bacon, sheet out like a whole like thing of bacon on like a Sunday, and put it in the fridge. And then scrambled eggs in the morning, throw the bacon in, some cheese, throw that in a wrap, bro. You got a nice breakfast burrito, tons of calories, tons of protein, delicious, and you're fucking styling.
Oh yeah.
I
Love to tear up
actually
some breakfast burritos, throw a little hot sauce on that bitch.
exactly. I actually blew my own mind doing a breakfast burrito recently because I decided to try to do over easy eggs in the breakfast burrito.
See, I can't do that, bro.
Yo,
I
I
could do
love
that,
that, bro.
I could do that. I be dipping the
Yep.
fucking burrito in like whatever yolk slipped out.
Well,
homie.
here's
Like,
here's
I'd
what
be
here's
all
what
up
came
in
out that was so fire, right?
Ain't
Is
about
it like I managed to keep them all solid enough that they stayed in the shape of the frying pan because I used a small enough frying pan. So when I flipped it, I flipped this whole big like 5 egg over easy patty, and then was able to put that as the base inside of this breakfast burrito, add my bacon, cheese, and everything, and roll that bitch, toast that bitch so it would stay shut. And yeah, that little bit of yolkiness in there, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Let's
Yeah.
go. All right,
Game
all right,
changer.
Hey.
Blew my mind.
If that's what you like, bro, more power to
Oh
you,
my!
dude.
It
I'd have to
it
pass.
really made me want to try to do a cured egg yolk and put that in a breakfast burrito.
The fuck's a cured egg yolk?
So you
Yeah, I
separate.
don't know what that is.
So basically, you literally get
Silence.
curing salt in a container. You know, create a bed of it. You separate your egg yolk from the egg white. You put that inside your curing salt. Cover it with more curing salt, and you let it ferment for like I think it's a week. And when it comes out, what you have is a fermented egg yolk that's fully cured inside the salt. So it's now solid, but not. So like you can grate this on like a microplaner or a cheese grater, but the second you bite into it, it's gonna melt with just pure egg yolky umami flavor.
I love that, dude. I love anything egg yolk.
And I mean that's where all the goodness and richness is waiting for you anyway.
All
Yep.
right.
That albumin is not helping. It's all the yolky goodness.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
and like leftover
Give me
meat,
that
bro.
runny egg. Ooh.
Dude, the best way to lubricate leftover meat, dude, like you got leftover steak, you got leftover chicken, whatever. Dude, couple sunny side eggs, dip that shit in there. Now you got nice moist meat because you got all that yolk on there.
I mean,
That's
dude,
a hack.
if you want to cut the carbs down, just make a cheeseburger patty and then slap your sunny side up egg on that.
Boom.
Boom, knife and fork that. Another winner.
Once again, another chef's kiss.
Which,
you know what I mean?
technically speaking, at that rate, you've pretty much just made a Salisbury steak with an egg on it. Because really,
I'm actually cool with that.
Yeah,
shit.
which I'm not mad at,
against the
honestly.
Salisbury steak, bro. I'll tell you that.
I'm with it.
I ain't even necessarily against the microwave ones either, bro. I grew up on that shit.
Bro, the old
Yeah,
Encore
they're
Salisbury
too salty
steak
for me.
They are on
microwave
the
ones are
salty
too
side,
salty
bro. I will
for me.
100% admit it. Over time, like especially now, like they're a little bit too salty. But as a kid, bro, I'll tear up some fucking microwave Salisbury steaks, dude.
Bro, like it brings back some solid memories. Those old Salisbury steaks. Get that with your quick mashed potato or something, little mashed potato side you throw in the microwave, and you're good to go as your little 7-year-old kid on a Saturday night waiting to watch your fucking blockbuster rented movie.
Right.
Yeah, paint that picture for you.
That you forgot to take back, and you got late fees now.
You're like, fuck it, it's the Three Ninjas, we're
6
gonna watch
months
it again
later,
anyway.
You still have it, and you're like, fuck it, I guess I just bought this.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't been back. When I go back, I'm gonna have to spend $100.
And then instead of going to back to
but...
Blockbuster, you just find yourself a Hollywood Video to go rent your next movie from. So.
Dude, isn't that the truth though?
100%.
Like back in the day, you'd like literally be out with friends. You'd be like, "Yo, does anybody have like a Blockbuster card?" It'd be like 4 people. It'd be like, "How many people can go around a movie?" You know, one person's like, "Oh, I haven't returned something. I've had it for a while." Another person's like, "Oh yeah, I stopped going there because I kept the movie and I refused to give it back." And the next thing you know, you're like the only one that has like a clean record at Blockbuster, and now you're the one that's
Yeah.
responsible to take it back.
You're the plug.
So you can be that next guy to fucking, you know, it's
Shout out to
Pro
all the
show.
small town
Dude,
places.
and once they started renting games, bro, it was over because
Dude,
they
there's-
never got a game back.
There's still a fucking adult extra video spot in Taunton. Sean, do you know what I'm talking about? Off 44, video extra. How the fuck are they still in business? It's got to be like a It's got to be a
Dude,
front, dude. They're
well,
gonna be laundering shit there.
because all they do is sell porn and sex toys now.
Oh yeah, new market. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
Dude, I
there's
walked
actually
in-
a convenience store that was like I haven't been there probably in 2 years, but like they actually still would get in brand new like Blu-rays all the time. Of all the brand new movies. Like I actually had one buddy that would literally go there. He would like camp out there when like he'd be waiting for people to bring him back on a new release and shit. So like there still are some people that rent. Like it still is
There's
cheaper to
still
rent though
Redbox
than to like
machines.
rent online. Like to
So-
rent online, it's like fucking $20.
pro tip, my friends. Library cards are free, and
They
there
don't
are-
have good movies, Sean.
Listen, hear me out. All right, a library card is free, and there are websites that allow you to access the entire library system across the country just by having a library card in your area for their internet streaming services. So just because your local municipality may not have anything good doesn't mean that like Manhattan doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
that's-
that's true. It does
Speaking-
open it up, but
That's
still.
that's
Speaking
kind of
from
the cool thing.
experience,
Yeah, Sean
you know a little
knows.
too much about that, dude.
So
He's like, I've been taking advantage of my library card for years, son.
I worked for a courier service that actually did the library transfer of books and shit. So that's how I know about these services, because I spent a year of my life inside my library system, moving their books around, talking to librarians every day. So yeah, it's a thing. It exists. It's free to use. So it's a service that's out there for people. Another great thing that's a great service for people is you can find alternatives to major pay products by just looking for alternative to, and that you'll find the websites that'll give you alternatives to everything. You want an alternative to Adobe Photoshop or Pro Tools audio mixer, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So those are options out there if you're looking for ways to use open source media so you can do what you need to do without paying a ton of money. And with all of that, I think it's time for us to bring this thing to a close. So I want to go ahead and give one last huge shout out to Blake over here for coming in and hitting us all with the extra wonderful fitness knowledge and talk that we've had today. Big shout out to you, brother. And this is your opportunity to go ahead and plug your platforms, my brother.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure. You guys are a fucking hoot. So I miss being here. But yeah, website is www.bodylanguage.design. Didn't feel like paying the big bucks for that .com domain. You know what I'm saying? And then Instagram's body.language.fitfam. But yeah, just reach out if you have any questions.
Excellent.
Yeah, dude.
Excellent. Yes, my friends, go check it out. If you want to go ahead and get in on his programs, go ahead and hit up the website. And with all that, Uncle Chris, go ahead and kick it off. Send us on out.
I think I can do that. I think I can do that. Well, Blake, thank you very much for coming on. I like it when you're here too. It's always a good vibe. So I'm sure that you're going to come back, and I can't wait for that day. So everybody that was listening, hopefully you guys were inspired by anything that happened today, or even if it just like made you think about something for a moment. Like that's still inspiration. You're thinking about something that you might not necessarily thought about. So just think about that for a moment, and that could even be the inspiration that you got. So of course, check out shedtimepodcast.com. Go over there, look at it, check out our Patreon, all sorts of cool shit. Whenever you kind of give money towards that, you're helping basically the overall end product from us to you. So you're just basically pumping your own, experience. And of course, on Friday nights, you can check us out on the Green Room. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Frame Check the Vapor YouTube channel. And I think that's it for me. Sorry to be safe. Have a good week and live your best life. Frames, take it away.
Of course, shout out to Blake. Always a pleasure having you on, dude. Always a good time, always good vibes. And we always learn something, or at least can, take away something from when we have you on, dude. So much appreciated to you, bro. And we'll definitely probably have you on again. Hopefully, unless Sean, decides he doesn't want to, bring you back on. That's all him, bro. Me and Chris are in for it. So just putting that out there. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, of course, guys, go check him out. Go support him, man. He's got a good thing going over there. He's got a lot of knowledge that could definitely be utilized, and sounds like a guy that's definitely here to help you guys out. So go check him out. Of course, like Chris said, you can check us out on Friday over on my YouTube channel for a little green room experience. We hang out, we do build offs, just have a good old time. So go check us out there. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing what we always do. So I'm going to end it as I always do, sending out all those positive vibes. Crisp high fives. As always, don't forget to tell someone you love them, and a little dab or bag will do ya. Sean.
Oh, yes. So one more time, my friends, big shout out to Blake. Go ahead and check out all of those social platforms. And, with that, you know what I'm going to tell you. Green Room, shedtimepodcast.com, all places you should check out, all things you should do. So don't let the best get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. Whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun. This is the Shit Time Podcast. It's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right, your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton at Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Solid.
Deuces.
Yes.
Hell fucking yeah.
All right. I think
Another banger for the books, boys.